Welcome back to Forgotten Fruits. Today we're going to make some compost tea. So I've already filled up my 55-gallon barrel here with some water. And what we're going to do is we're going to go collect some soil from the forest on the farm. And the idea of compost tea is to help propagate very rapidly the number of microbes in the soil, the beneficial fungi and bacteria. So what we're going to do is get a sample of some really good soil from the forest here that has our local microbiome in it, the fungi and bacteria and etc. And we're going to bring that up here, put it in a compost tea bag, soak it in here for 24 hours with our air bubbler to make sure it stays well aerated, because you don't want the bacteria and everything to go anaerobic. So we need to keep it highly aerated. And we're going to add some kelp extract and some humic acid, as well as some ground up oats to provide a complex carbohydrate for the fungi to eat on while we are multiplying them and propagating them here in the compost tea. Once it's done tomorrow, 24 hours from now, we will take all of this, which is a big batch, but we're going to take it all and spread it around all the trees and shrubs and berry bushes that we have all over the property. So we did this a month ago. We're on a routine of doing it about once a month at this point through the summer. And it takes this entire 55-gallon barrel to do the entire farm. So come with us and take a look at what we're doing. So in order to go collect the sample, we're just going to take one of these fabric pots that we have and a little shovel, go out to the woods and find a place that has really deep, dark, humus-rich soil where we can see the fungal hyphae, the little fingers of the fungi going through the soil, so we know that it's rich in fungi. And we'll get a couple shovels full and bring it up here and put it in the compost tea bag. Hi guys. You guys being good? If you see any mushrooms around, let me know. That'd be a good spot to go. But there's fungi all over, but all right, so we're gonna get a sample from right here, which there's a lot of down trees that have been decaying for years and undoubtedly will be rich with fungi in here. So I'm gonna get a couple shovels full, or a few, because I got a mini shovel here. And once we're done, we'll cover, oh, there's earthworms. So once we're done, we'll cover it up with leaves again so that we don't disturb the worms and other critters in here. You can see how dark and rich this soil is. Isn't that beautiful? We'll make sure we don't have any earthworms in it when we get up to, oh, there's one. We'll get him out of there. He doesn't need to go in the compost tea, he'll drown. There you go, little guy. Good night, ladies. So we went and collected our soil from the forest, ground up 1 cup of oats to give the complex carbohydrates to the fungi because they feed off it. You can use a food processor if you don't have one. We actually used a coffee grinder just because it was easier. But either way, it works out well. So I'm gonna dump, because I have 50 gallons, I'm dumping 1 cup of oats in there. Then I'm going to add a 1/4 cup organic liquid kelp extract. Put that in there. And then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of humic acid. Tablespoon of humic acid. In case you're curious what I'm using, I don't have any particular affiliations with any of these companies, but this is one that I found online. Organic kelp. It only takes 1 tablespoon for my 50 gallons, so it'll go a long ways because I have 1 gallon of it. And then I have this same brand, actually, organic liquid humic acid. If you're doing a bacteria-dominant compost tea, then you should do unsulfured blackstrap molasses in there. But because I'm using this on the trees and perennial shrubs, I'm going to do fungal dominant. Bacterial dominant would be better for annual type plants in your vegetable garden or whatever. Alright, so I have a bubbler going. I actually ran out of my compost tea bags, so I'm improvising here with this small piece of netting that I used to protect my cabbage, I think it was at one point. So I'm just going to use that, fold it up. It doesn't have to be, stuff's not rocket science. You could measure the compost, and probably needs about 6 cups for the size of a barrel, but like I said, this is not a precision science. As far as I'm concerned, if it has a little bit extra, that's even better. Make sure I get as much as I can fit in this improvised compost tea bag here. Get as many of the microbes out of it as we can and propagate those babies in the next 24 hours. If you let nature do its course, this would happen on its own, but it would take, who knows, decades to, weeks, months, years, decades to accomplish what you can accomplish in a much shorter amount of time by propagating through compost tea on a regular basis. Like I said, I'm doing it once per month through the summer here in Michigan. So let's wrap this up. I'm going to get a tie to tie it up, and then what I will do is tie this to a piece of wood that I put across the top here to keep this suspended. You do not want to put this on the bottom of the tank, because then there will be big pockets of anaerobic activity happening at the bottom because it's not getting the oxygen to it. So I'm going to dig out my ties and we'll get that set up. Alright, so what I did, I just had an old piece of twine laying around from a bale of hay that we use for Mangalitsa pigs. So we use as much as we can. Just tied it around a slip knot around the compost tea bag, improvised, and put it around this piece of wood. So I'll just set this across here. I'll hang the bag in the middle. And now I'm going to take the bag and actually squeeze it a little bit to try to get some of the smaller particles out and make sure that the full thickness of the compost gets fully saturated with the water. Compost tea, get it mixed up good. And then tomorrow, a couple times throughout the day, I'll do the same thing just to make sure everything's getting nice and stirred up well. All right, so I'll let this sit for 24 hours. I think the common knowledge about this is that microbial activity peaks somewhere around 24 to 36 hours. So it's not one of those cases where the longer the better. If you leave it go too long, then you'll actually have a decrease in your microbial activity, partially because they'll chew through all the food you gave it, but partially because it's in water. So 24 hours is seems to be the sweet spot for peak microbial activity. That's all there is to it for now. Like I said, I'll mix it up a couple times throughout the day tomorrow, and then tomorrow night, 24 hours from now, we will start applying this to all of our plants, our trees on the farm, all of our berry bushes. We have a lot of elderberries and honeyberries, chestnut trees, fruit trees. Everything we have around the farm will be using this all up. All right, thanks for watching. If any of you have any tips for us on how to tweak our recipe for the compost tea, I'd be happy to hear it. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Subscribe to our channel and follow along on our journey here to create our permaculture food forest that's in full swing at this point. We appreciate your support. Have a good day.